When the cart gets a little closer to the puppet and the cut strings, you pull the brakes and shine your flashlight up at it. Your companion remains still. Brides. They always give you that feeling in the pit of your stomach. You have some good wedding memories. Seems like they're all sour now. Thanks to her. You pull out the picture of James that you keep. If you have one nice memory of the day, maybe it's how handsome the groom looked in his tuxedo. You look up from your photos you move to put in your pocket. The bride is... Oh fuck, she's gone. Where is she? You put your senses on high alert, checking your radio, which stays quiet. You're not sure how many bullets are left in your gun. Instinct says 2. You'll make them count. The radio is quiet for now. You throw the lever on the cart and start it forward towards the tunnel. You pass through the tunnel and into a large open cavern. Looks like you're about to the end of the line. Softly, you hear your radio start to crackle. You throw the lever to stop the cart just before the swan reaches the end of the tracks. However, before you can get a good look at your surroundings, there's sharp noise, an explosion of light in your eyes, temporarily blinding you. You grab the doll and throw him over your body, shielding yourself with him as your vision swims in red. You blink your eyes desperately, waiting for them to clear up so you can see again. You peek out from underneath the wooden helmet and peer towards the end of the track. You're not alone. The bride is standing beneath the exit to the ride, menacing. Something is in her hand. She doesn't move, but you don't believe for a second she is incapable of it. Distantly, you see a light, far away in the darkness. You carefully climb out from under your friend and out of the swan, gun in hand. You edge towards the photo booth and grab the photo that came out. You step backward as you see the bride raise her weapon. A cleaver? You can't afford to hesitate. You take aim with a righteous fury and squeeze the trigger, sending one of your precious bullets screaming at the detestable bride. The sharp report fills the air. There's a split-second's muzzle flash that lights the area. The bride topples forward. Did you hit her? Or did she stumble over the gate as she lurched forward? You bring your foot down, ready to knock her weapon away and stomp on her until she stops moving. You feel sharp, hard fingers lock around her ankle. Her fingers dig into your ankle as her blank face stares at you as she tries to swing the cleaver into your leg. You don't give her the chance. You bring your foot down and stomp. And stomp, and stomp, and stomp, and stomp, and stomp, stomp, and stomp! You grind your heel into her as she comes apart. You feel her stomach cave in. Hollow. There's blood. You're panting for breath. She deserved this. The static fades away, and the bride lies in pieces on the ground, a woman scorned. You bend down and snatch the cleaver from her broken hand. You have more use for it than she will. As you grab the weapon, you nudge the body. You hear a clinking noise from its hollowed-out torso. The mannequin is already broken open like a cracked egg, but you use the cleaver to tear away the mass of the bloody dress from the split. You find something peeking out of the blood there, and grab it, pulling it away. It's a chain, with a hook on the end. It comes off in your hand as you tug it. Disgusting! You put down the hook and wipe your hands off. That's super gross. Let's do anything else. Well, what was on that picture anyway? It's you, and Wait, that can't be! Shaking, you clutch the chain in your hand and turn around. The doll is still there, hanging out of the swan the way you left him. He looks the same, at least from here. He can't be your uncle, can he? It has to be another trick, some kind of madness, doesn't it? You need to take off the mask. You have to be sure. Your heart is racing as you grab him out of the swan and drag him back to the photo booth. You spend a long moment looking at the buff doll with a mix of apprehension and sheer terror. Finally, you roughly push the mask off of him. Beneath is a featureless oval of wood, scarred deeply with what looks like knife slashes. You take a long, deep breaths until the shaking subsides. You gently set the doll back down on the ground. It's not Uncle James. It can't be, whatever your fond feelings towards it. You shake your head and look up at the photo booth. You intend to just grab the photos and bolts, but when you see them, you can't help but to stop and stare. With a burst of anger, you tear apart the picture that has Marissa hanging on your uncle's arm. How dare she! You toss the half with Marissa on the ground and pocket the part with your uncle. He looks hazy and out of it in the picture, but you also pocket the one with Evelyn. After a second thought, you pocket the others too, just in case. You double check, but they are all blank on the back. You step carefully over the bride's remains and peer over the bar, towards the light beyond. It looks like there's a path and something bright shining. You hope that's a way out of this damn tunnel of love. You duck the gate, listening carefully to your radio as you make your way through the darkness. The only sound is the sound of your feet on the stone. You near the source of the bright light, and you stop short, glad you are being careful. Between you and what looks like a pale pane of glass is a gaping pit in the stone, covered in smears of bright red blood. A chain, the same chain you must have pulled earlier, lies on the ground. There's something in the pit. Well, you have this chain and hook that you got from that bride doll. You might as well try and use them. Nervously, you pull it out, try to fish in the hole like some kind of grisly crane machine. After a few false starts, you manage to hook whatever it is in the pit. You carefully and slowly start to pull it out. It's one of those dolls. Looks like this one is caught on something. You pick up the doll gingerly, and you feel the slimy blood coating your hand. A nauseous feeling sinks in the pit of your stomach as you wiggle a coat hanger out of its belly. Disgusting. This can't be what it looks like. You don't want to look at it. You don't want to think about it. There's a gash in the toy's belly. There might be something inside. You reach inside the doll's cavity and immediately start to feel sick. The inside is warm and wet and full of squishy, slimy, fleshy bits. You grimace, but just as you're about to recoil and pull your hand away, your fingers brush something hard. You yank out a blood-covered key. As you do, ropey guts come spilling out of the toy like snakes from a fake jar of peanuts. You drop the thing back into the pit where it belongs, and it grinds out a pathetic cry as it falls. This isn't what you wanted. You want to take it back. Okay, focus. There's no way the key will fit in your coat. New photos, cleaver, and chain are already bulging out of your pockets. You don't want to get rid of the wine, so you tug your shirt back on over the bikini. Even the greasy humidity of the place, you're glad for the extra protection. While you have your coat off, you go through all of your stuff and manage to organize it a bit better to give you more space. You manage to put almost all of your papers together, and you switch out the knife for the cleaver. You keep the cleaver clenched in your fist and the gun tucked safely away. It probably only has one shot left. You want to make it count. You walk around the pit and look at where the light is coming from. It's a broad piece of glass, like the one you saw Evelyn through before. It's cloudy, but you might be able to peer through it. You carefully peer beyond the glass. As you get close, you feel a cool tingle in the air near it. Inside you see the room you left when you went to save Evelyn. How did you get here? This is right where you started. You reach out curiously and brush your fingertips across the cold glass. Your fingertips prickle with the icy feeling, and a wave of vertigo overtakes you, the room seeming to twist and lurch. Surprisingly, you don't hit the glass. You hit the floor, crumpling to your hands and knees in a heap. The room is icy cold, and your flashlight seems to be out.